What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back for another call, and welcome to the channel for those of you that are new to the channel. So today we're going to be very briefly going over a gold trade that I recently caught today. Today is currently July 26th, 2023, and we actually have an FOMC meeting coming up in about the next 20 minutes. So I just want to kind of touch base with you guys and get this video out for you guys to see exactly more or less what I'm looking for and what I am anticipating for the rest of the day and potentially for the rest of the week. So as I mentioned before, we're looking at gold, which is of course XauUsd, and we're currently looking at the 30-minute time frame. And I'm gonna go ahead and actually come up to this 4-hour and give you guys a brief understanding of what I was looking for earlier in the day and what I'm looking for post news. So first thing to take note of is going to be this 1974 range, right? So reason that this range is so important is because after the fact that we broke and closed below this 1974 candle here, we noticed that prices actually started to begun to retrace, right? So on the next H4 candle, we noticed that price pushed down, came back up, and then closed bearish below this area, right? So it's safe to say that at this 1974 range, there's a large order block and there is a large area of supply right around this range, right? And we see that validating here because we see price pushing up into it, reject yet again, and then actually drop down from that point on, right? And then after we notice price reject and come down to this daily order block, which is here, we notice price come back once again. We see this bullish engulf come. The volume switches off on that, and then we see the bearish momentum start to kick in, right? So I'm going to go ahead and dive down to the lower time frames and give you guys a bit of a clear image of what we're looking for. And here we are. So and actually prior to doing that, let's go ahead and check this out. So there's three things that I also want you guys to take note of, right? There is a large area of demand here around the 1940 range. There's a large area of supply around the 1980 range, and there is an equilibrium level right around the 1960 range, right? So just keep that in mind and just know that these three zones that are here are exactly as I mentioned, right? So let's go to this 30-minute time frame and check out this position from earlier today. So I'm gonna come to the 15 so I can give you guys a clear image of this. And here we are. So we have yesterday's previous high of day right around the 1965. And we noticed that price was attacking these areas of supply very aggressively, right? After we tapped here at 1971, we saw a minor rejection, but then we saw it push up, and then we saw a lot more rejection and a tad bit of consolidation around the 1974 range. Now, keep in mind, like I mentioned before, this area was a very, 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 very key area from the past couple of days, all the way up into about Thursday of last week, where we played below that level. And now that we're here in present time, we went ahead and just wanted to see how we would react to this level. And in the case that we would actually close above this range like this, then we were to be looking for a potential continuation up into this 1980 range. But we noticed that this bullish volume actually died off and started to switch. We saw this bearish volume start to kick in. And then we went ahead and noticed on the lower time frame, when it comes to this 5-minute here, we noticed price action starting to add up and give us a bit more of confluence to actually enter this trade. We saw a rejection here, once again here, once again here, aligning with the fact that we are moving with a lot of diversion into this area. We went ahead and waited until we closed below and then continued to actually pursue with this bearish movement down into the 1965 range. And the rest of the trade is pretty self-explanatory. As you can see, TP1 was around this range here, TP2 would have been here, and TP3 would have been into this range. Now, the exit out of this trade was actually pinpoint as well, especially at the fact that we noticed price rejected, came back out, rejected again, and then pushed back into this 1974 range. But as we can all tell, and we can see right here, I'm pretty sure we can all agree that we are still presently rejecting to this 1974 range, as we see here, and then we push back down. So to kind of give you guys a present time bias of what I'm looking for, we're currently still holding this 1974 range, right? So if we notice that news drops and we come and break this area here and hold below this M5, which is labeled here, we'll be looking for a continuation of this short to take out this 1965 low, potentially take out this 1962 and 63 low, and potentially coming closer to the low of the day, which would fall right around this 1953 area. So give or take, that would be roughly about a 140 to 150 pip move, ultimately trying to get us down into this 1940 range. If this were to happen, we can kind of see something like this happening for the rest of the week. Now, reason being is because the open of the week is right around 1961. So as soon as we start to trade below this 1961 range, it'll be semi-safe to say that we might be able to fall back into this 1940 range for the end of this week. And if we don't, then we are currently, as we are right now, we're currently trading above the open of the week. So it could be a possibility that we see price come up into an area like this of 1980 to gather more orders to then continue this push down. So those are two possibilities that we're looking for. And in the case that we're breaking and holding above this 1974 range, this is the only way that we'll be looking for a buy and a long position up into this 1980 range, which would be roughly around 50 to 80 pips, give or take how far we go above this 1980 range. But those are the two possibilities that we're looking for. And again, given that we are coming up on the FOMC meeting in about 15 minutes, we'll just be waiting for the news to play out, and then we'll actually wait for a better position, and ultimately just waiting to see if we take out 1965 or if we're taking out 1974. So those are the two things that we'll be looking for. I hope you guys gathered some value from this call. If you did, make sure to go down there and hit the subscribe button and like this video. Again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week.